Last night we stopped an attack on a great monument, the monument of Andrew Jackson in Lafayette Park. And I just want to thank law enforcement. They did a great job. We were working very closely with the White House Secret Service and some of our executives. It was really, they did a great job. They stopped the call. Numerous people are in jail and going to jail today. People are already there, but we're looking at long-term sentences under the Act. We have a very specific Monuments Act, and we are looking at long-term jail sentences for these vandals and these hoodlums and these anarchists and agitators, and call them whatever you want. Some people don't like that language, but that's what they are. They're bad people. They don't love our country.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Solution, powered by Success for the Future. I am your host, Reggie Hill, and today we're going to be talking about these monuments and these statues. Now, to me, it's a very clear underlining issue between the difference of skin tones. I personally believe that the actions of one ethnicity compared to the actions of another ethnicity truly represent what this is all about. Now, people who look like me, they might not appreciate the statement that I'm about to make, but it's genuine and it's from the heart and it's true. I personally don't care about the statues. I personally don't care about the names on parks and the names on top of military bases. I don't care about the names of schools that represent individuals that folks may like or dislike. I don't believe it has anything to do with who we truly are. And I'm going to explain that a little more as we get into this episode. So let's dive in. Take 3. All right, so why don't I care about that? Well, this is why. If you take down those statues, if you rename these schools, if you change the names and descriptions on these parks, does it really make a difference? See, I am an advocate for making a difference. Over the years, we've had seats to change. And when I say seats to change, I mean people in position of political power. We've had those positions to be changed out with new faces. But yet, we still see the same problems that we were facing decades ago, before many other people who are hearing this were even born. So as an advocate for making a difference, I want to see an evolution. I want to see us actually grow as a people and become better than what we were before. And it's always going to be more than symbolism if it's genuine. If it's true, if it's of value, it's going to be more than just a monument, more than just a statue. See, right now, I am a resident of the city of Mobile. And Mobile is the first and oldest city in the state of Alabama. On Royal Street, we have the oldest standing city hall in the country. So that means not in our region, not in our county, not in our state, but the oldest standing city hall in the country. And just footsteps away from that was the Admiral Sims statue, which was recently taken down. Now, I'll give you my take on this idea of taking down the statues, particularly in Alabama. See, we have a law here that protects these type of monuments. And what was interesting, when the mayor of Birmingham, who is a black man, made an announcement about taking down Confederate statues, he was immediately sued by our state's attorney general. Whereas in the city of Mobile, when our mayor took down the statue without an announcement, did it in secret, they've been in litigation. There's been no real discussion, in my opinion, as to a chastisement or a punishment for that action. Now, sure enough, they put some stuff out into the media. Mobile has agreed to raise the money to pay for the suit of taking it down, and all of these type of practices that, to our eye, will seem to be just. But yet, we didn't truly examine the idea of the difference in application of the same law. So this is what I mean by the color of the skin and these actions. We see where a black mayor experienced something totally different than a white mayor, but yet they essentially did the exact same thing. Is that not the story of America? So right now, you're looking at a post that I made in 2015 when the city of Mobile, the city council in particular, were considering the idea of removing the Confederate flag from our official city seal. Now, let me tell you how gangster the city of Mobile is, so it can be real clear. That statue that I mentioned that was footsteps away from the oldest standing city hall, Admiral Sims, he was over the Confederate Navy. Now, the flag that gets so much attention and scrutiny throughout our country is the Navy flag. It's not the official flag of the Confederacy. And that's what's mind-blowing to me about people when they discuss this experience, I'll call it. When we present and contribute our point of view, oftentimes, unfortunately, it's not rooted in the true historical facts of what's relevant. So when I say how gangster Mobile is, the flag that is remembered is the flag that represented the Navy, which was controlled by a Mobilian. So Mobile, in essence, contributes to so much throughout the world, and we'll discuss that more in a different episode. So right here, you're able to see the response that I made regarding the removal. I said, we indeed must reshape this trajectory. I only hope that we will spend just as much time working on our relationships and interactions with one another. Though removing the flag is progress indeed, it still is simply a symbol. The character of humanity must change. This is going to take time. So think about that. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And amazingly, it was in the same time frame. This was on June the 25th, whereas today I'm recording this on June the 27th. But how much has actually changed? This is what I mean, people. This is what I mean. So we've been removing these things because, of course, now the city seal is changed in Mobile, has been changed for years, but yet we still see the same incriminating injustice that plagues communities, particularly those in high poverty, underserved areas, represented mainly by people of color. So again, I want to pose this question of what does it matter if these statues are taken down, if these names are removed from these schools and these parks and these military bases, if the policies haven't changed? My people, this is what we have to get. We can yell to the top of our lungs until we're blue in the face. But if we do not amend the policies, none of this, none of this will change. So today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to read to you an excerpt from the blog that I recently posted. And it's actually titled, Does It Matter? And in this blog, I do my best to explain the underlying issues that impact all of the people who are most involved in this matter. And it gets us back to this idea of where did it all root from? How did we get here? And allows us to examine where we have to go if we actually want to see a solution. So this is it. This is what it says. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Give me your tired, your poor, your riddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Emma Lazarus. And this is the inscription on the Statue of Liberty. So I asked this question, if all lives matter, why did 3 women have to cry out, Black Lives Matter. And please don't associate me with either because of that question. Hear me out. Somewhere over the years, we forget what it meant to be human, to discover, to create, to work together, to love. In this sequence, we isolated our trust and diminished our expectation. As a result, we have chosen to identify ourselves with labels and classifications. Now in society, our energy and existence are both consumed by the selfish mannerisms of value and survival. I personally am able to see each perspective of this ethnicity battle we find ourselves in throughout the United States of America. And fortunately, I can do it. Let's make the examination. I see the people of direct African descent and those of dark skin who live here and have grown restless with senseless violence committed by agencies designed to serve and protect citizens. To them, I say, brutality is more than fatal. This horrific norm for people who look like me is experienced through the court system in general, which impacts housing, education, equitable opportunity, available resources, and most importantly, the family structure as a whole. Until this understanding is embraced, we as a people will never be satisfied. I feel those of direct European descent as well, those of a more pale skin, who believe that black people get murdered by the police because they wouldn't comply to orders, or they simply deserve to have their life taken because of their lifestyle. To them, I say, humans are products of exposure. We have learned the same way since the beginning of time. We copy what we see and we repeat what we hear. If one hasn't been exposed to anything different, how can someone else expect them to act or live any differently than what they already know? Believe it or not, there are people in the middle who represent both foundational elements of this idea. There are whites who recognize the injustice and want to do something different, but they still want to sustain the worth of their own life and feel safe while doing so. While there are blacks who are disgusted with law enforcement at all levels, but they are also just as disgusted with the idea of black on black crime. Unfortunately, for all of us, most leaders have created their own center, which focuses on the color green. As long as the money is in order, everything else is a free fall or a free for all. I'll let you think on that. Amazing how these mannerisms and value and survival reappear and resurface. America is arguably the most innovative experiment that ever existed. Right now, however, we are living in some of its more vital times, and how we contribute to our individual communities will directly impact humanity as a whole. We are all simply minute pieces of the larger puzzle of life, and we must never forget that. In the 1960s, civil rights organizations fought for legislative changes that would improve the quality of life for the least of these, consequentially doing the same for everyone, those who were more affluent. Yet, the language was never enough to resolve the matters that truly plagued our country's most vulnerable and underserved areas. Today, we must engulf ourselves in the lyrical structure that is articulated in policy and law. Once knowledgeable of the procedure, only then can we amend the practice. Daily, we must renew our minds. We must open our imaginations to anticipate peace and prosperity. We must speak harmony and positive production into the atmosphere. We must learn that every God-given life is essential to the full universal scope of our population, knowing that every soul is a unique reflection of the Creator's image. And if the image is unclear, we will never get the big picture. Justice will shine only when we let it. In return, the people shall breathe And according to Lady Liberty, we shall breathe free. So as you go about your day-to-day experiences, facing these triumphant tasks of dealing with the battle of ethnicity, especially here in America, please do not be fooled by symbolism. Please do not be fooled by rhetoric. Please do not be fooled by demonstrations that seem to advance the cause of equity, opportunity, and justice for all. For these tactics really only begin to scratch the surface of the true meaning of what we're going through. It's going to take far more than removing these monuments to shift the paradigm of our quality of life. Even if you take down the flags from in front of our government buildings, or take down the monuments in strategically designated areas of our various cities, that doesn't remove the tags off of certain people's cars. That doesn't remove the bumper stickers off of certain people's trucks. But most importantly, for those who actually practice hatred, it doesn't remove those deep scars out of their hearts and minds that force them to treat people differently. So our mission must be to show the example of what we want to see, and doing it in a manner that causes all people to come to the table, and we make decisions that are sufficient not just for now, but for times that we have yet to see, for people that are yet to be born. What are you going to do? Right here is the solution. Solution is powered by Success for the Future, also known as S4TF. S4TF, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, aims to ensure that young people, particularly those at risk and their families, steer clear of pathways that lead towards delinquency, social dependency, and incarceration through implementation of worthwhile behavior intervention and character development programs. Please visit our website at www.s4tf.org, where you can find our social media tags and ways to reach out. Connect with us, and let's make the difference in society that we all have been longing for. If you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to our efforts. We only survive on stakeholder investments. No contribution is too small, and all donations are tax refundable and can be sent via mail at P.O. Box 395, Mobile, Alabama 36601, or made online by simply viewing the Stakeholders tab on our website and pressing the Contribute button. Anyone who shares $25 or more will receive a free copy of Just Me, Motivational Empowerment, Inspirational Messages to Empower You, written by myself. It comes with a journal, and I promise it will make you a better person. So thanks for tuning in to Solution. Until next time, I'm your host, Reggie Hill. Peace.